Alright, so you decided that you want to get into World of Warcraft roleplay, but now you are set to make a character, right? So before you actually go ahead and do that, let me tell you about stuff that you're not supposed to do, so you don't make the same mistakes that I've did, right? So if you check here on my right hand side, on the right part of the video, you'll see a bunch of characters level 80, and to the untrained eye, they will just be regular characters, bunch of different classes, all good. You wanted to experience different sides of World of Warcraft, you tried other classes, happens, it's enjoyable, it's not a problem. However, when you get into a position where you have multiple mages, for example, now that's a problem. Why did I choose to have two mages? Like, the only difference is the actual race, right? So that has to have a story behind it. Or like this, like, why do I have Hunter this high of a level? Or, oh, yet another mage, what's going on here? Or look, two warlocks, similar level. Yeah, it's not only race. At that point it becomes a problem. So what you're not trying to do, you're not trying to be like me. You're not trying to have bunch of alts, bunch of alternate characters. They're just gonna waste your time and eventually collect dust. So think through, decide which class you like to play firstly, and then based on your preferences, then go ahead and actually roleplay. Because essentially when you choose a class for roleplay, your out of character class, the actual class mechanics, don't matter as much as you think. Because you can be a hunter and you could pretend to be a mage. No one's gonna bother you, no one's gonna pull your hair like, oh no, you're wearing mail, you're not wearing cloth. No, those stuff don't happen, right? So even if you pick hunter, like when you go for survival spec, you have one weapon, you're okay, you're a warrior, you have your pet, everything's good, everything's great. If you choose classes that can be like shamans and you still want to roll hunter, absolutely fine. There are toys that you can use to add some trinkets and stuff. So just, yeah, don't stress too much about the class. Play what you find fun to play outside of the role play aspect, right? And then create your character based on roleplay. So the important thing about roleplay is an actual race. My favorite race, for example, is Tauren, and I really like High Mountain Tauren. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. High Mountain Tauren actually got me to get back into World of Warcraft after a long time of being away from the game, right? So you can either like the race itself, or you can like the transmog. For example, this is just basic heritage armor for troll, but I like it so much I slightly adjusted it, and in my option it looks perfect. Or you can like the theme behind the actual race. So for example, there's one quest in Nightborn unlocking mission in Suramar where you're running around the city and everyone's like, oh, an illusion, what are you hiding? So I've created a monk, and my whole idea was to focus on actually switching shapes, right? So I'm not a druid, but I do use reflecting prism to take form of my party members. For example, if this guy was in party with Hakora, right? So he would just use reflecting prism and he would become Hakora, and that'll be in character, right? So this guy could just be like copycat, right? All right, I said right too many times. I'm really sorry, I got excited. I apologize. Okay, now let's get on to the main part of the video, actually creating a character, right? If I say right one more time, I'm gonna cancel this video and I'm gonna start all over, I promise. Okay, now choosing your actual main character. As we stated before, the actual class doesn't really matter. You can choose whatever you like. If you have transmog that you like in particular, go ahead, be my guest, choose whatever you want. Class is less important, but the race actually matters. So if you decide to go for an orc, perfect, be hunter, be warlock, be shaman. I mean, at this point, take like a warrior and roleplay paladin. They're eventually gonna get paladins, so there's no one to stop you, right? If you go undead, go for shaman, right? Perhaps you were like Kultiran. They can be shamans, so you were Kultiran. Now that you're obviously rotting away, you don't have all of that fat, you're just skeleton, but you used to be shaman in your life. Now that you're dead, perhaps elements are not listening to you, so you're currently rogue, trying to find your way around, but you're trying to get back into shamanism. I'm not sure how to say it. Yeah, but you're trying to get back in touch with elements, basically. Now, what I do want to say, Death Knight, if you want to roleplay being an actual Death Knight, it's gonna be slightly harder because some classes are considered edgy, and of course it'll all depend on your roleplay style. So if you decide not to be edgy, if you're decided, you know, you just wanna, you like the class, you wanna pretend to be undead, that's fair, but your character can't be this grim person. In order to match today's World of Warcraft, especially retail, you have to go a bit softer. So you can't be this maniac or something. I mean, you can in small, you know, within guild or something, you know, but for the outsiders, they're just gonna assume the worst. They're gonna assume you're an edgelord and perhaps even start avoiding you, and that's not something we should wanna have, right? Damn, this sentence was really worded weirdly. I'm really sorry. Anyway, if you want to choose Death Knight or Demon Hunter, you can't be Illidan, you can't be Arthas. You have to be I have no idea. You have to be SpongeBob of Illidari. Like, you have to be this bowl of joy, even if it's not perfect. Like, for example, you do have demons, you do have issues, you do have like voices in your head, but you need to focus on more cheery side. Of course, you can have demons, but you can't have them 24/7. So even if something slips, like, oh, we should do this, or you lost your mind, blah blah blah, you talk to yourself, you know, you should play it off tastefully, not actually rushing into it and just being an edgelord. Same goes for void elves. They're actually the hardest race to roleplay. Not plenty of people handle that well. They're either crazy lunatics who are roaming Stormwind and trying to summon demons, kill everyone within the city, kicking children or something, or they are simply played as you know, high elves, right? So not even void elves at all, but just high elves. So your race is really important. Right here you can choose each of these classes. Everyone is really good. Even Vulperans, Pandarans, Blood Elves. Like, if you go for each, you know, either one of the horde races, you're gonna do well. If you choose Alliance race, like, you have Worgen, you have Draenei. Night Elves are, respect for Night Elves. As a horde player, respect for we want Night Elves. Let's trade Nightborn for Night Elves. But yeah, anyway, if you play Alliance, it's not looking good, bro. We know what kind of person you are. You're looking for a hub roleplay, you're looking for easy way in, which is not necessarily bad, but you know, I can't do a video without actually dissing an Alliance. So if you choose Alliance, yeah, you're not a person that, you know, I want to hang out with. Go with Horde, be like strength and honor friend, you know. It's not like some like politics and stuff. Yeah, Alliance. Anyway, choose your class, choose your race. Again, class whatever you want to play, race whatever you think you like thematically. Like, if you want to be a pretty boy in Horde or pretty girl, you just go for Blood Elf and just, you know, do what you want to do. It's important that you actually like your character. If you like how your character looks, if you like how your character plays, then you're gonna eventually come to the part of the, you know, creating story, and then you're gonna like it even more. If you start off like, oh, I have to go with Orc Warrior, I have to go like Makora or whatever, but you know, deep down you're not really an Orcish player, then you're not gonna have fun. That initial spark, it's gonna run out, and then you'll find yourself at the same spot again, like having to create another alternative character. Trust me, I know. So yeah, choose wisely, go into their lore, read about them, see what you like the most, and then go ahead and create it, right? So let's say today we want to create, let's say, Tauren Warrior, right? Taurens are fair. I know their lore. I really like the race. I'm not a huge fan of how transmog looks on them, but come on, they're Tauren. Of course I'm gonna like them. So for sake of this video, we're gonna start creating a character. Let's go for yeah, warrior. Actually no, let's go for a hunter, because I like hunter playstyle. So right now I'm gonna yeah, just go for a hunter. I'm gonna go class trial just because, you know, sake of the giving it a shot, right? It's gonna be Vecron 2, just some random name. If you are having troubles actually looking up the name, go to Google, try finding out like typical torrent name. You know, at the end of the day, you can choose whatever name you want. If you want to be Dustbone, you can go for it. And look, you can even play it off as like this not being his actual name, but Dustbone was like his some sort of nickname that he got along the way. Let's go with Dustbone, and we're gonna adjust it. Right now, this is not important for me because I'm just gonna delete this character immediately afterwards. And yeah, let's go for this guy. He looks awesome. Okay, no, he doesn't. All right, this guy looks awesome. Okay, now I'm considering putting in a real name. Anyway, let's finish. And here we are. Boot up the character. And remember, you need Total Roleplay 3 add-on. After you got that add-on, it's gonna get much easier. You're gonna see which people are actually on Argent Dawn for roleplay and which people are here just for easy mount drops, you know, because roleplay realms often don't have players chasing the actual content. So there's a bunch of people on the server who are not actually roleplay people, right? They just came over here to have some fun, to have some easy time, and so on. Let me set up this real quick because I'm gonna try and make transmog so I can immerse myself. Edit mode, we're going to 1, 2, 3. Okay, now just 2 mounts so I can handle the looks. Again, it's, you know, how you feel about the character, that's the most important part. If you like the way it looks, if you like the way the class behaves, and if the actual race is good for you, you know, if you feel comfortable, then that's great. Then that's gonna be a character that's gonna stick around. Now I am using this additional add-on, which is called Narcissus. I've got no idea how to read this. Narcissus. Heck, it's Narcissus for the sake of this video. And what it does, it allows you to go control and left click, and it'll boot up this bigger screen. Instead of having to look over here at transmog, you'll just look it over here. Anyway, I'm gonna go with just any random set, like this works. We're gonna remove helm, we're gonna remove this, shoes, yeah, removed. But I am going to add back item because this is the part what I like about Torrent. The reason why I started playing Warcraft is just Torrent being awesome with their totems and stuff. And yeah, I'm not gonna pass up on this opportunity to equip an actual totem, right? So we're gonna save this outfit as test 1. Shoot, what happened? I guess I wasn't writing. I got no idea. New outfit. Weird. Okay, I've got no idea what happened. Some random pop-up jumped, but I didn't care to read. Okay, anyway, we're here now. This is our character. We're gonna dismiss pet because yeah, I'm not gonna go with whatever this is, Tall Strider or whatever. Alright, so we got our hunter. He actually has a gun. So what I'm thinking with this outfit and all, you can be like this sort of outlaw, right? So immediately when I say outlaw, it brings me to think about like Grim Totem from actual Torrent backstory. And yeah, let's see how it looks. Okay, went for a dark gray pants. I don't know, just looks better. Now what I dislike, what kind of breaks immersion for me, is this mane going through the outfit. So we you know, we hit it kind of with this totem, but it is what it is. Now we're gonna focus on creating the actual total roleplay. Open your character sheet, create a profile, name it whatever you want to name it. By default, it's gonna show your server and then the name of your character. That's perfectly fine. Now when you go into edit, right, you can put title, you can put first name, last name. This is what we talked about. Dustbone could be like title, like nickname, right? And he can actually be let's go with Tau Hakora. Doesn't really matter for this, you know, for this example, right? So we're gonna save the name, see how it looks. You see at the right corner there, it changed. It actually doesn't show Dustbone. It shows it down as a title, doesn't show it as the actual name. And if I go into chat, let me just increase the size of this. If I go 1, 2, 3, it's gonna show the actual name on Total Roleplay. That's the power of the add-on. So that's really, really good. What we're gonna do, we're gonna add some flair. We're gonna use the lore appropriate name for Tauren, and we're gonna put Wanderer over here. Now what else we can do? Height, I really dislike these. Like, I can do residence, I can do birthplace, and that's about it. Like relationship status, I don't really do roleplay relationships, but again, I'm not gonna diss people who do that. That's another way to immerse yourself, but that's not something I'm going for. Additional information, if you use pronouns, you're welcome to put them here. And let's say he, him. Good thing about pronouns, they're gonna show right there. So if someone glances your profile, they're gonna see immediately, because there are people who play female characters just because their silhouette is thinner and they want to come off as, you know, not as bulky as this one. So it's passable. Again, it's not something that I'd like to do, but it happens a lot on the server and you just have to roll with it. So yeah, you can do some basic stuff over here. I don't like to play around on the first, you know, on the first page too much. Then let's go all the way to the notes. Here you can start creating your own story. Like we know that we want to have him be outlaw. Okay, we know he will have a certain pet that's going to be a mount at the same time. So we know he'll use gun and he'll have totem on his back at all times. Miscellaneous, we're gonna go for totem. By selecting the picture over here, you can find, but I don't see there. We're gonna go with like Tauren. Perhaps it'll pop up because it's part of heritage armor. And there it is. We're gonna go totem bearer, right? So what's the name of our character? Cow. At all, he carries totem at all times. It's handcrafted and so on. I mean, you can put details. You can put it means a lot to him, and it's, you know, obviously it's hand. Or, you know, just put the random story, do what you want, go wild, and remember to select this, like lens, editor slot 1 enabled, because this way it's gonna show up. If you have that disabled and press apply, it's gonna be grayish icon, and that means the other people are not gonna be able to see it. So you have to make sure that this is actually selected, right? So go ahead, go wild, write 5 of those. I usually like to do this, like last one, it's gonna be roleplay hooks, and I'm just gonna go with generic hook image, and these are just gonna be OC notes for people to actually approach me. It's gonna be like, if you are from Mulgore, you I can't speak English and write at the same time, I'm really sorry. And so on. Like, this is just one of them. If you're from Mulgore, you probably heard about on an outlaw who resides in Orgrimmar often, chases contracts or whatever. And then the other thing, like, if you hunt for mounts, blah blah blah, approach him. If you approach him, you're looking for mount, he's your guy, right? So we select this to enable it, and now whoever scrolls there, they're gonna see some hooks. And you know, they have the open doors to actually approach and be there for us, right? So if they want to role play, there's no one around the city, you're only one in town, they can go quickly through glances and see like this last glance, this is a good conversation starter, right? So I'm gonna approach this guy and I'm like, hey, well, I'm looking for this certain mount and I've heard that you know how to chase down pets or whatever, and that's how roleplay basically starts. Accept character injury. Of course we're gonna accept injuries. Injuries are a part of World of Warcraft. It's not Sims 2, it's Warcraft. We're gonna accept injuries. Death, not so much. I mean, if it's character that you don't want to stick around, if you want to kill him off, then select yes, or even with player permission, but it's gonna be no. Romance, it's gonna be no for me. Criminal activity, I say yes because of this. Accept loss of control, again, this can be either yes or with player permission, but I do with player permission over here because sometimes I don't want to actually get captured. Let's say we're role playing from 8 to 10 and I have a job tomorrow. I have to wake up early, so Alliance wants to capture me, but now they can see accept loss of control only with my permission. So someone's gonna whisper me like, hey, is it okay if we take you hostage or something, and I'm gonna reply like, hey guys, no, I actually have work tomorrow, I really need to go soon, so we'll have to do that some other time. So it's always fun to have consent in these sort of things, right? And guild membership, you're basically gonna use in-character membership. That means if your guild is actually canon for your story or not. If you're in guild just for PvP and you're a solo role player, you can say OOC membership, right? You don't care about the guild, you're here just to have fun, and so on. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, this is the most important part. About. I've seen people write whole diaries in here, and that's really, really, really bad. You don't want to do that. Well, to each their own. If you want to do that, I'm not going to be a person who's going to stop you, but just keep in mind that I'm also not going to be a person who's going to read it. So, it is what it is. You can select here title, right? So we're going to go with our name. No, we're actually going to select Dustbone. Like, let's create a story of how he got his nickname and his title, right? So we're just gonna adjust colors. He's hunter, but we're talking about the bony color. You can do your own colors here, but I just go for presets. Let's go for chi. Okay, let's go for chi. And then we're gonna write like thou got his nickname, so on. You're gonna write a whole story over here, and you can do whatever you wish. If you wanna add certain images, for example, Tauren, you can see this is like high mountain Tauren, but there should be something for regular Tauren as well. Like, okay, this like just regular background, you can add it. Or if you want to add certain links, there you go, you add your link, your YouTube or whatever, and then you go with your text. And if you go save, then you have your text. It's in different color. It's hard to see because I chose color like a bozo. You have your image, and then you have subscribe please, and if you press, it's gonna then people can just copy the link and actually go and watch it. This is usually used for character portraits. When people really like their character, they can contact an artist and get like an image, just like a profile picture or something, someone to draw your character. People do that a lot, and it's fun. There are a lot of talented people who can draw your character really good, and overall I find it awesome. It's expensive, so I can't really do that stuff, but yeah, if you find artists and if it's affordable for you, I'd say go ahead. That's just gonna help you out. I mean, it's cool, and that's all. Now, what else do we have here? We've created a character, we went over Total Roleplay 3, and I believe that's it, right? So all you have to do is focus on your actual race, pick whatever class you want, whatever class will be least pain in the butt to get to max level, I guess. And then yeah, just roam around, try to find people to hang out with, and not much. If you're in Orgrimmar, we're mostly around this Wyvern's Inn over here. That's usual gathering spot for roleplay. If you're in Stormwind, you can go to just, you know, if you're Alliance, you can go literally anywhere in Stormwind. But yeah, that's about it. Next step would obviously be to find the perfect mount that kind of goes with his character. He's Tauren, so Kodo would work well. I've got this, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Yeah, no, that's too much. I'm gonna go for like random Kodo. This is fine. And then I would go ahead and fly to Mulgore to actually find the pet who is same Tauren. Not Tauren, sorry, who is same Kodo with similar skin tone. And I'm just gonna have my mount, you know, chill next to me while I'm walking. So imagine this is a Kodo. We're gonna walk around. I'm gonna sheath my weapon, obviously. We're gonna walk around, and this is gonna be my Kodo, and at what point I can be /E, you know, just emote, climbs onto his mount, and then in the next moment I'm gonna dismiss this pet and climb onto the Kodo, right? So there you go. I just, like, in character, I got on the mount, and when I want to get off the mount, I would just go like /E dismount. So, or if you know, if you're into it, you can add a bunch of words like slowly climbs down his saddle while heavily breathing, or, you know, you can go wild. You can go wild. This is the, well, I guess, joy out of it, where you feel free to emote, to just, you can be extra on this part, right? So yeah, that's about it for this video. It's my first lengthy video where we are nearing almost 30 minutes. I'm really sorry for the quality. Hopefully the sound is good this time around, and hopefully you learned something. So if there's anything that you'd like to ask, if anything's unclear, feel free to ask me and I'll reply in the comments. And that's about it. So yeah, thank you for joining once again, and have a good one. Bye.